in search for directions, my thoughts reflecting.
Hello everybody, Oliver Nah here. Big Bass Streams is in the house. Hope everybody's doing well. Many of us are finding ourselves in quarantine. Hopefully the content we've been hitting you guys with daily on the Big Bass Streams network here has been helping you guys pass the time. Hopefully you guys are picking up some tidbits of information. And for those of you guys that didn't know, I also launched my own personal YouTube channel here in 2020. So make sure you guys go to that channel, subscribe, turn your notifications on, and leave some comments in the videos there as well. Today's mail call is actually inspired by one of the videos that was posted to my own personal YouTube account last week. So if you guys want to watch that video, click here for the link or in the description below. But did a little bit of surf fishing for the first time in many years a couple months ago. So we finally getting around to some of the old footage that we've been shooting now that we have downtime, and trying to pump it out there and get it out to you guys. But made an order from Ben at the Hookup to replenish some saltwater jerkbaits and some other bait that I anticipate doing well right here in Southern California, off of the beaches and the rocks and the jetties and inside the harbors. Excited to explore some more land-based fishing, as my Aussie friends would call it, down under, or what we here in America term shore fishing or bank fishing. Truly an untapped resource. We have miles of some of the most beautiful shoreline-based fisheries around, both freshwater and saltwater. So I'm gonna go over some of the baits that I've got some experience with already fishing in the surf, and some other baits that I ordered that I anticipate working very well in the near future. So I've got a couple of baits here that were already in my collection. This is the Megabass Marine Gang 140F. It is a floating hard bait. This has, I believe, the original LBO system. It's hard to hear, but when you go to cast this thing makes that big clack sound with that linear bearing oscillation system going into effect. That bearing pops to the rear of the bait, makes casting these baits off the sand really easy and effortless, especially if you're throwing it on a spinning rod. But I've also done it efficiently with a casting rod as well. So distance can be an issue with these LBO model Marine Gang series. Makes casting way off the beach into that strike zone much easier. That's a beautiful awashi color. I think they call this color Gigi Akahara awashi. Yeah, I'm sure I butchered that one too, but I know awashi is Japanese for sardine, so you notice the sardine pattern there. This one's got a pretty sweet orange gold kind of underbelly with the silver sides and the bluish top. Just a great coloration. In that video that I posted to my personal YouTube, this is the actual bait that Johnny actually caught a nice 25-inch legal keeper halibut on. So make sure you guys subscribe to Johnny's channel as well. We'll leave the link in the description below. Here's the standard awashi pattern, I believe. I don't have a new one here in the box to confirm, but you know, just a base sardine, bluish purple hue, a little bit of a green pearl up on top, pearl underbelly. That's going to be a solid producer, I'm sure, for us consistently. Okay, and then that brings us to a different style of saltwater jerkbait. As you see here, this one's got a little bit of rash on it. This is that same first color awashi pattern, but this is an X-140. So it's 19.5 grams, 140 millimeters. You notice it's got a little bit different body profile and a different swimming action. Okay, so I'm incorporating steady retrieve, slow rolling, with intermittent pauses and rips and twitches as well. Just depending on what mood the fish are in. This thing's actually got a pretty wide wobble. Okay, those of you guys that are fishing some of the other hard baits that they've seen a million times on the beaches might like that one especially. Probably reminds you of that other option that everybody and their mom throws. The same kind of dynamic that I've seen in freshwater fishing with the 110 versus other jerk baits, and all across the hardbait lineup in the Megabass world, I see that same opportunity here on our pressured Southern California beaches. All right, I'm going to show these fish a bait that they haven't seen before, and I bet you a lot of our results will be really similar. You know, conditioned fish are conditioned fish, especially catch and release fish like halibut, especially the shorts, right? The shorts are aggressive, they make those early mistakes, but then they kind of stop getting fooled by the same old thing. And check out that pattern. That's going to be a really sweet pattern anytime you need a little bit more visibility. Not really sure what color that is. I lost the box for that one a while ago. Okay, and I've got this pretty sweet Daiwa short stick bait box to keep some of my other baits. All right, this is a cool bait that I got from Ben when he had them available. And this is like a topwater, almost stick bait, popper, pencil bait. Super dope detailed cup mouth, but that's gonna catch some water. It's got a chamber that's gonna create a little bit of a bubble trail. I really haven't spent too much time throwing this, but I did finally catch some orange mouth corvina, and they're pretty fond of topwater baits, and I actually caught them on an X-120 in a pattern similar to this one. So based off of those known factors, their preference for eating topwater baits and their favoritism towards that color for me, I'm pretty sure I'm going to catch some orange mouth corvina on that thing. And actually there's two sizes here. This is actually a Cagalo. All right, this is an X-Lush, so kind of similar but different. This one has a closed mouth. All right, this one's got that bubble trail, open gill cavity. We've also got different size lengths here. So this is 124 millimeters, and the X-Lush is unknown. All right, we also got 3 hooks on this one, 2 hooks on the X-Lush. Got a couple of really dope patterns. Here's the Bora pattern, which is gonna mimic a lot of the mullet and smelt, anchovies, all around saltwater bait fish imitation. Okay, clear water, high visibility situations, I'm gonna go with a more natural pattern. Dirty water, overcast, low light, low visibility conditions, I'm gonna pick something with a little bit more color. And those of you guys that have been following me for a while know, like, one of my least favorite patterns is matte tiger. It's funny because that's such a staple in the fishing realm. And another staple is red and white, especially with striper guys. And that's just something that I've never really caught fish on personally, and I know you guys whack them, so I had to pick up the X-Lush in that red head, white body pattern. And let's see if I can scratch that one off my list, because I finally scratched a fish off of matte tiger salmon fishing up there in Milwaukee. So if you guys want to watch that video, I'll put that right here for you guys too. That was a lot of fun. But you know, all this multi-species stuff is a great way to keep things fresh. As soon as we're able to get back to our normal lives, I want to encourage everybody to get out there and engage in as many styles of fishing as you can, because I've personally drawn so much experience and insight that I apply to my trophy largemouth bass fishing, or just my bass fishing in general. And I know that's what most of you guys that are watching this channel especially are into. But man, there's something really cool about catching potentially 30 and 40 pound California halibut on a spinning rod or light tackle in general off the beach. It's totally possible. I mean, it's a fishery that I think people are definitely not taking advantage of. All right, okay, so let's go. So here's a brand new Marine Gang 140, same bait that I showed you guys earlier in the GG Akahara Iwashi pattern. Okay, and all these baits you can find from Ben at the Hookup Tackle. There's another new one that I'm excited about. This is a new bait for the last year or so, and this is the 110 Max LBO, but in a saltwater edition. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, this has got the LBO 2 system too, so this one's improved. And if I can lock these treble hooks up, and they're sticky sharp, mind you, and all these saltwater baits, I leave the stock hooks. They're super sticky, they hold well, they don't bend out. They're great hooks, so no need to upgrade hooks here on the Saltwater series. You hear that? Okay, so that linear bearing oscillator system is going to once again facilitate really long casts out there in the surf. Big 110 max profile is gonna match. Man, that color looks even better out of the box. We get a lot of smelt and grunion and an occasional anchovy run right up on our beaches. This one is GG Bora. That's gonna be a killer color. Next time I go fishing, I'm probably gonna start with that one right there. Great bait. And then it's also available in a standard 110. And this is a 110 saltwater edition, once again, but with the LBO system. Same color. You can actually see through that transparent belly section, the LBO 2. Yep, that's what they're using in this one, is the LBO 2 system. So once again, if those fish are keyed in on a smaller bait, I have an option to match the hatch profile wise. And a lot of times, man, these fish get keyed in, especially saltwater fish, on a smaller bait profile, smaller size, and that can mean the difference between getting bit or not. Even with the big fish. I mean, those big tuna you guys see on our Big Tuna Dream series, a lot of times they get keyed in on what we call no-see-ums. It's like 2 eyeballs and a squiggle, which is, you know, really small bait. And if you aren't matching the hatch, like, you stand no chance unless you're throwing a big flying fish. They always love eating flying fish. So 110 max LBO, 110 LBO saltwater. Just pumped to have those additions. Okay, and then we're gonna go down the other end of the spectrum here. This is a really, really cool and unique bait, and shout out to my man Joe Gaeta over there at Performance Tackle. We talked about this bait a couple years ago, and initially I know he was having issues with it swimming properly, but it was all our own perceptions, right? He discovered that, man, this thing sinks like a rock, so it's heavy. Like, this thing weighs 27 grams. Like, that's probably an ounce plus. I'm not really sure what the conversion is, but it's at least 3/4. So especially on those long 9'6" surf rods, this 90mm small profile, perfect smelt imitation color bait is gonna fire off the beaches really, really well. And once again, once they're on that small bait, that's gonna match the hatch even better. What I say, 90mm in length. And this sick color is the LZ Beach Sardine. Halibut 90. It says, the Halibut 90 is a heavily weighted jerkbait designed to catch flounder in inlet or surf fishing. Its body is designed to minimize air resistance during casts, thereby stabilizing and balancing the lure while in the air. This innovative attention to detail allows anglers to cast to distances that were previously unreachable. The body shape imitates one of the most popular bait fish, the sardine. The Halibut 90 draws strikes even when conventional lures can't get a bite. That's a good sign. I could use all the help I can get. The uniquely shaped lip of the Halibut 90 creates a strong wobble and rolling action. The lure is designed to maintain a consistent swimming action that draws the attention of predator fish from a greater distance. The Halibut 90 activates flounders to eat and drives them to bite. So I'm looking forward to confirming everything that I just read off that package for you guys. All right, that's a sick bait. And we've got a couple different colors here. There's the GG Awashi, which I believe, that's the same pattern that I showed you guys in the X-140 and that Marine Gang 140. Okay, so now I've got different size options to present to these fish. That thing is cool. All right, what color do I got here? Another GG Awashi. I got a backup for my backup. It's a little warm out here, so I'm getting a little bit of condensation in the packages. Make sure you guys are opening up your packages. If you guys expose them to the sun or heat, let them breathe out. You don't want that moisture in the packages and affecting the hooks, although these saltwater grade hardware should not be affected. Look at that sick color. Spotted bay bass fishermen rejoice, huh? Fuzzy chartreuse lime. That thing is sick. Heavy gauge, once again, comes with great stock saltwater hooks. No need to swap those out. That's gonna hold up nicely to hopefully a 30-40 pound halibut if I can get so lucky. All right, and then we're gonna start upping the ante a little bit. One of our favorite themes is big baits, thick lines, heavy weights, and I don't see why it doesn't apply in the surf. We have, like I said, 30-40 potential pound class halibut, white sea bass swim in the surf, the occasional Southern California striped bass. You never know, and most guys aren't really fishing a big bait off the beach. I mean, gosh, we did it down in Costa Rica for roosters and snappers and stuff, right? Why can't it work here? So really cool options here. I've got 2 different models of the Kanata, and you guys probably won't see the video from the Clear Lake series where we wreck fish on the Kanata, but that's coming. So if you guys haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do and turn your notifications on so you don't miss that video when it drops. It's coming. I already edited it. A lot of fun. Fish up to I think 7 pounds are smacking this thing. But I've got a freshwater version Kanata. Okay, comes with the standard black nickel hooks, and this is the old popular MB gizzard pattern. Okay, I feel like that's going to be a great smelt, grunion, and top smelt imitation. And really, it's not that big. Like growing up, we used to drag big mackerel, like big horse mackerel and big horse sardines for trying to get a big bite from a big halibut. So why guys haven't really embraced that in the hard bait game, especially off the surf, is a little mind-boggling to me. I have thrown the Kanata off the beach a little bit, and it casts really well, and it gets down. Like I can feel it touching bottom, like right in the zone where those halibut are sitting in wait and ambush really well. I might swap those hooks out. I don't know. We'll see. But there's also saltwater edition Kanatas, if you guys were unaware. And the biggest difference that I've seen is that it comes with saltwater grade treble hooks. Like I've already mentioned that I'm a big fan of. And this is the Gigi Akakin color. All right, the guys that are fishing Southern California, you guys know about how effective brown baits are for calicos, for everything. Like everything eats a queenfish, little blacksmith perch, all those oddball bait fish in the bait tanks mixed in with the sardines and anchovies that, you know, all you guys that are fishing the sport boats like I did growing up, and I used to work on the sport boat, so I know that life really well, can see the power of gold. The calicos especially love this stuff, right? And there's some great calico fishing opportunities off the beach. So I'm excited about that color right there. And then here's the good old GG Awashi pattern. Like how sick is that? Huh? Big. That's just a normal size sardine. If you imagine like dipping your hand into the bait well, picking this up, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can catch anything on this size sardine. Nose hook it, fly line it out there, and literally catch everything that swims off our coast. Why is that such a hard thing to wrap your head around as far as the artificial lure comes to mind? That's easy peasy for me. So pumped to have this one in the arsenal. And then we're going to continue stepping the game up. All right, the Or Poi. No one's really throwing this bait still, and we've got big calico dreams where we whack these things, Cubera snappers, rooster fish, everything in Costa Rica eats this thing, and I have a good feeling that a lot of things here in Southern California will eat this stick bait. Comes in a floating and a slow sinking model, so you can fish it up on the surface like a big topwater pencil bait, or you can fish it subsurface and get it to dart around almost like a one-piece glide. Really erratic action. Once again, right in that size range as everything else. It's just a little bit bigger. All right, it's got a little bit more presence. So make sure you guys are going to Ben's website. We'll leave the links for all of these products in the description below. That thing I've got a ton of confidence in already. I'm pretty pumped to actually throw this thing around the beaches and see what we can come up with. And I know halibut will eat a topwater bait on occasion. All right, here's something really cool and special. Pull this thing out of the package for you guys. Got my little Bubba pocket knife here, which I've fallen in love with. So shout out to Bubba Blade. All right, this is the Megabass Flapper 170. Obviously that is a sardine pattern through and through, and they call this one live awashi. So live sardine, 170 millimeters in length. That's a floating bait. It's got the rotating swivel hook on the belly. Okay, does not come with hooks, so I'm probably gonna put some number 1 or 1/0s on both the front and the back here. And I'm just gonna fire this thing out in the surf and see what happens. What do you guys think? Is that something you guys would fish off the beach? Too big? Am I crazy? Let me know below. Anyway guys, I'm gonna get these things in that box and continue organizing some tackle, getting ready for the next fishing adventure, and we're gonna continue pumping out videos for you guys. So once again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching all the content we've been working so hard on for you guys here on the Big Bass Streams Network. We've got videos coming from our contributors. Got the grind mentality. We've got capture fish, bass brawl outdoors, Big Bass Dreams Europe, Big Bass Dreams Canada, Big Bass Dreams Australia. Hopefully a lot more stuff coming your way, guys. Until then, aim high, dream big. This is Oliver and I, checking out. Thank you.
In search for directions, my thoughts reflecting.